What if I told you that wars are not won by bravery, not by strategy, and not even by numbers? What if the true winner of war has always been technology, and the price tag that comes with it? For most of human history, war was cheap. A spear, a shield, a sword forged once and used for generations. But then something changed. A black powder, a small spark, a loud explosion, and suddenly, war was no longer about courage. It became about economics. States that could pay survived. States that couldn't disappeared. Empires didn't just rise on gunpowder. They were rebuilt around it. So here's the mystery we're unraveling today. How did a simple invention turn war into an economic machine? Why did gunpowder force governments to tax more, borrow more, and centralize power? And most importantly, are we repeating the same pattern today with modern technology? To answer that, we have to go back to the moment war stopped being personal and became industrial. Setting the stage, war before gunpowder. Before gunpowder, war had limits. Feudal armies were small. Kings relied on nobles. Battles were seasonal. A medieval army could be raised with land obligations, not cash. A knight brought his own armor. Weapons were reusable. Castles could last centuries. Most importantly, war did not bankrupt states. If a kingdom lost a battle, it lost land, not its financial system. But this fragile balance had one weakness. It depended on human muscle. And history has one rule. When technology replaces muscle, everything breaks. Origins, the birth of gunpowder. Gunpowder didn't begin in Europe. It began in China. Around the 9th century, it discovered, accidentally by alchemists, searching for immortality. Ironically, they found death instead. At first, gunpowder was used for fireworks, signals, psychological shock. But once people realized it could kill from a distance, the genie was out. By the 13th century, gunpowder traveled west through trade routes and wars, reaching the Islamic world. Then Europe. And here's the first twist most people miss. Gunpowder wasn't powerful at first. Early firearms were inaccurate, slow, and unreliable. So why did it still change everything? Because it changed the economics of violence. Cause and effect. Why gunpowder made war expensive. A sword takes skill. A longbow takes years of training. A knight takes a lifetime. A musket, it takes weeks. Gunpowder democratized killing. Suddenly, rulers no longer needed feudal loyalty. They needed money. Why? Because gunpowder weapons required mass production, constant resupply, specialized craftsmen, ammunition that was used once and gone forever. Unlike swords, bullets disappear the moment they're fired. War shifted from one-time investment to continuous spending. This is where the gunpowder economy truly begins. The rise, states that could pay. 1. By the 15th and 16th centuries, gunpowder weapons improved rapidly. Cannons shattered medieval castles. Muskets replaced armored knights. Fortifications had to be rebuilt, thicker, wider, more expensive. This created a deadly feedback loop. New weapons gives new defenses, gives higher costs, gives higher taxes, gives stronger states. Only governments that could collect taxes efficiently, borrow money, control production, could survive. This is why centralized nation-states emerged. France, Spain, England. Gunpowder didn't just win wars. It created modern governments. Financial systems enter the war. Here's where war and money fully merge. Standing armies replaced feudal levies. Soldiers demanded wages. Weapons demanded factories. Governments began borrowing at massive scale. The first government bonds existed to pay for war. Banks weren't created for commerce alone. They were created to fund violence. The Dutch perfected this system in the 17th century. Why? Because they understood something crucial. War isn't about who fights better. It's about who can stay solvent longer. The breaking point, when war outpaced economies, gunpowder warfare kept escalating. More cannons, bigger armies, longer wars. Eventually, costs exploded. The 30 Years' War devastated Europe, not just physically, but financially. Spain went bankrupt multiple times, despite its silver empire. France collapsed under war debt, leading directly to revolution. This is the key pattern. Technology raises the cost of war faster than economies can adapt. Every empire believes it can manage the expense. Every empire is wrong. Fallout war becomes industrial. By the 19th century, gunpowder warfare merged with industry. Rifles, railways, explosives, factories. War was no longer seasonal. It was total. World War I was the ultimate expression of the gunpowder economy. Entire economies mobilized. Millions of shells fired. Nations bankrupted themselves to survive. Victory didn't go to the bravest. It went to the largest industrial base. And after World War II, the cost didn't go down. It exploded again. Failed fixes. Technology never makes war cheaper. Every generation believes new technology will make war faster, cleaner, more precise, less costly. Every generation is wrong. Gunpowder was supposed to shorten wars. It made them longer. Precision weapons were supposed to reduce costs. They increased dependency on expensive systems. Drones are cheap individually, but the networks, satellites, data centers, and R&D behind them are not. The fix never works because technology removes limits. Removing limits increases scale. Increased scale increases cost. The gunpowder economy never ended. It evolved. Modern parallels, same pattern, new tools. Today's wars are no longer fought with muskets, but the economic logic is identical. Modern warfare requires advanced chips, rare earth minerals, massive R&D budgets, global supply chains. A single modern fighter jet costs more than entire medieval armies. And here's the shocking parallel. Wars today are often decided before the first shot by who controls production, finance, and technology. Just like the gunpowder age, the repeating pattern. Let's connect the dots. New military technology emerges. Cost of war rises. States centralize power to pay for it. Debt increases. Systems strain. Collapse or transformation follows. This pattern has never broken. Gunpowder didn't end war. It locked humanity into an economic arms race. 3 clear takeaways. 1. War is an economic system, not just a military one. Weapons don't fight wars, budgets do. 2. Technology doesn't reduce violence, it reorganizes it. Every new tool reshapes who can afford to fight. 3. The true cost of war is always hidden. It shows up later as debt, inflation, or collapse. Final warning, an open question. Every empire that mastered the gunpowder economy believed it had control. They believed, this time is different. But history has never made exceptions. So here's the question we end with. If technology keeps raising the cost of war, and economies keep absorbing the shock, what breaks first? The weapons, the budgets, or the systems holding it all together? Call to action natural and serious. If this video changed how you see war, technology, or power, share it with someone who still thinks wars are fought only on battlefields. And if you want more deep, documentary-style breakdowns on history, money, and power, subscribe, because the next war won't start with a gunshot. It will start with a bill. If you want next, I can rewrite this into even darker cinematic narration, break it into shorts hooks, or optimize it for YouTube retention timestamps plus pattern interrupts.